So now I'm going to ask about specific starseeds. So first, you might be a Andromedan starseed Okay, so number one, you might be an Andromedan starseed if you have trouble connecting with your guides. Andromedan starseeds are very high dimensional beings. They're actually from the 12th dimension and higher. They come from, a lot of them don't even come from the Milky Way galaxy. They actually come from the Andromedan galaxy. So Andromedan starseeds are typically going to not really feel like they have the same connection to their guides as other people. And that's not because their guides aren't there. It's because they, in order to get to that frequency, there's such a big jump that has to happen. So Andromedan starseeds will often have a lot of difficult situations, a lot of shadow work to do, a lot of scenarios in their life where they're really like alchemizing and clearing out and getting rid of lower, denser emotions. So yeah, shadow work, alchemy, very, very emotional, very highly sensitive, really needing to get in touch with those emotions and feel those emotions, because as you clear out your container, you have the capacity to hold more light, which is then going to give you more access to your higher self and to your guides that are in these higher realms. Food sensitivities are also really common with Andromedan starseeds. Feeling really big, like feeling like when you go into meditation or when you go into some sort of like altered state, like your energy feels really big. Yeah, those are some signs of an Andromedan starseed. Okay, signs of an Arcturian starseed. Okay, so Arcturians are kind of like, in my mind, they are kind of like the fixers, the analytical, like the computers, like the, like, like they can like see all the different things and like put them all together and make them all one. They're very technology based. So they're very into, they might actually be into technology, or they might be into, like sound vibrations and like frequency vibrations. They might be into like drawing and painting and like, or like architecture, and like creating things, and just like very smart beings, very wise, and like they're using these advanced, more higher technologies. They might have found that they were like really smart in school, or they just really get the hang of things with computers or with technology things. Like they might really pick things up fast, like they pick up a guitar, they just know how to do it. They hop on a skateboard, they just know how to do it. Like very advanced with their learning capabilities. Arcturian starseeds are very high vibrational. They are also keepers of the Akashic records, so like they're very in touch with information. They're also working with the souls before, like as they're crossing from one life to the next. The Arcturian starseeds are actually working a lot with those souls, like helping them prepare for their next life. Signs that you might be an Arcturian starseed. Yeah, like just things just make sense for you. Like you're very quick-witted, you're very analytical, you're very wise, very smart. You probably are advanced in whatever field that you're in. You're probably kind of like ahead of the rest. You might have like ADHD kind of tendencies, just because your mind is working at such a different rate and different speed as everybody else. Okay, a Pleiadian starseed. So Pleiadians are just like, they're the empaths. They are the ones who would like put their heart out on a stick and like give it to people. Like they are just so, they feel everything so deeply, but they don't have a lot of capacity over their heart. Like their heart tends to be overactive when they're in the human experience. They tend to over empathize with people. They don't really have good boundaries. They do tend to be people pleasers. Pleiadians have a more feminine energy. They are a more feminine planet. They exist in the fifth to eighth dimension mainly. They're coming in as like a light blue energy here, like a light pastel kind of color. they do interact with humans a lot. So they are really close to planet Earth. They are giving lots of messages. They are really involved in this ascension process that Earth is going through right now. One of the challenges that they do come across, like they can get like empathy burnout. You know, you'll find a lot of activists are typically Pleiadians. People who are like really helpful, helping other people, but they do really need to learn to come back into their own heart space, get into their body, feel through their emotions, become okay with feeling the lower vibrational emotions. They can be a little bit spiritual bypassy as well. Maybe not want to like necessarily go through those or look at those lower vibrational emotions. A lot of times Pleiadians will actually have a soulmate connection with the Sirius being. There's a lot of Pleiadian Sirius sacred unions happening right now in the world. So that's cool. I didn't know that. That's neat. Yeah. Okay, cool. Okay, next starseed race I'm going to ask about is the Sirians. Oh, I love the Sirians. So the Sirians are also very closely related to planet Earth. They're really close, helping planet Earth with her evolution right now. The Sirians are also work really closely with the indigenous. So the indigenous peoples of Earth, you know, before Earth became so colonized and so like diplomatic and all this, it looked a lot different. And a lot of these older indigenous groups of people, they actually communicated with the stars on a very regular basis. And a lot of these beings that they were communicating were Sirius beings. Sirius beings brought a lot of plant medicine to the Earth. They've been very involved with different plant medicines. They connect with people during plant medicine ceremonies and things. They're very connected to the sun, to masculine energy as well. You can connect with Sirius beings if you feel very connected to the sun. You might have some Sirius DNA in you. They are often healers. There is actually a school in Sirius where souls go to prepare to come to Earth. So they go to the Sirius school. They learn different, like, if they've never been to Earth and they don't really know what to expect, they'll practice like different healing modalities or different building modalities or different creating or different art. So a lot of souls will actually filter through the Sirius schools before they come to Earth to partake in Earth life. Yes, Sirius beings they do typically tend to lean more towards masculine energy, more towards doing and activeness. How might you know you're a Sirius being? But yeah, you're very connected to the sun, typically like healer energy, potentially even have some indigenous background or roots. A lot of also the ascended masters come from the Sirius, so like Jesus, Buddha, Mohammed, a lot of these beings, Isis, like the Sirius beings were very involved in Egypt, and so if you feel particularly called to the Egyptian civilizations or the Mayan civilizations, you might also have some Sirius DNA in you. They've very much been helpers of Earth for a long time, and they're very much still helping Earth to this day. Okay, next up, I want to ask about the Lyrans. All right, the Lyrans. So Lyran beings are beautiful. They're very, they're going to be looking, most of them in human form, beautiful. Like, just soft features, soft, looks to them. They are also known as cat beings, so people who are typically very connected to cats, they would be leaning maybe towards more of a Lyran starseed background. They come through in this very golden white energy right now. Very healers. Now, the one thing about Lyra is Lyra was destroyed during some of the wars off planet, the Orion Wars. So the Draco Reptilians did an ambush on Lyra and completely destroyed the planet without them even knowing. It was an ambush. It was they didn't know what was happening. They came, they destroyed the planet, and the Lyran people were refugees, and they went to all these different star systems to try and escape. So a lot of Lyrans will be experiencing war trauma. They will also typically be activists, very passionate about about helping the planet Earth like escape this like war and peace sort of dynamic. They might be involved in wars here. They might have incarnated into bloodlines who have a lot of war trauma, as that's what they're trying to alchemize, or that's what they haven't alchemized within their own soul as of yet. They are very much a healer, a race, a very advanced race. In Lyra, they didn't have democracy. They had like a king and a queen that everyone that kind of ruled over everyone, but they didn't see it in a hierarchy type system. So a lot of the Lyran beings who have come to Earth are coming to heal us, to get us out of this current dynamic and paradigm that we're in, of this like good versus bad, like war, democracy, hierarchical type society that we live in. They're advanced souls, but they do often have a lot of wounding from their past, and they have a lot of healing that they've come here to do in this lifetime as well. So they will typically they'll lean towards healing modalities, but they will also need a lot of their own healing to get to where they want to be as a soul. Okay, the next star race I'm going to talk about is Orion beings. So Orion beings were obviously involved in the Orion Wars. Orion is an interesting planet because it a lot of the Star Wars series was actually based on Orion. So if you were really like drawn to Star Wars, or if you love Star Wars and you like watch it and it feels like home, you might be an Orion being. They had like a mixing pot of different types of beings there. So like they had like all different kinds of alien types, like people, they looked all different. There wasn't like a set look to the Orion people. They were also involved in these Draco-Reptilian wars. Orion starseeds typically will incarnate with a lot of trauma that they need to work through. A lot of times they won't wake up until later in life. They won't kind of like come to the realization of like the fact that there's more, or like remember their past lives. They will be a little bit older by the time they get to that place of wanting, of like becoming aware. What else can you tell me about Orion souls? Yeah, they just carry a lot of trauma with them from these wars that they were a part of. They will typically incarnate into challenging bloodlines, challenging situations to heal through and to come out of on the other side. They might be a little bit more pessimistic as people, and really have to work towards the more optimistic perspective. I think that's all for Orion. Okay, let's look at angel beings. Okay, so angel beings. So as we know, we all come from one source, but from that source, it breaks off first into archangels. So when it first breaks, so archangels are like these huge heavenly bodies, and then within the archangels, there's all these smaller angels, and then there's the souls, and then like it comes all the way down to us. So each of us is actually under a branch of one of these archangels. There's going to be an archangel that we resonate with more than the others, that has the same type of medicine that we have come here to express, or that we have learned to express through different lifetimes. There's just going to be an archangel that we are more called to work with. So throughout our different incarnations, we could have been at different levels of angels as well. So we might have been an angel in one of our past lives. Angels, they will incarnate on Earth. They are always more healer type souls. They're always drawn towards people who need healing, people who are wounded. They tend to attract wounded people towards them who need healing. They're kind of always put into situations where they need to be a healer for others. They will be very empathetic and sensitive, and their energy will just be kind of healing to be around. Like, you'll find that people really enjoy being around them. They definitely also need to learn boundaries. They need to learn how to protect their energy, but that it's also really important for angels to find their purpose while they're here, to find their mission, to find like something deeper for them to connect to, or else they're going to feel very lost and very not at home and very like depressed. It's pretty common for angel beings to actually feel depression. Now, what I'm receiving is that angel beings, a lot of us have actually been angels at some point in time, and then we've kind of like made our way down through different star races. And then we will work our way back up towards being in more of those angel positions as well. So as we expand as a soul in our journey, there will come a time before we return to source where we are in that angel frequency majority of the time, where we will be sending healing energy to the earth and to other planets and working as more of a spirit guide on the other side. It's only every so often that a being that's at that frequency is going to choose to come down to earth, to incarnate on earth. And usually it's because they have some kind of part of their soul mission, or there's a reason they want to help, or they've come here for a bigger purpose. A lot of them have actually already like healed a lot of their karma as souls, and like healed a lot of what they came to do as souls. They're now working on more of a collective level.